Go.
Good morning. It's November the 4th, 2015. Welcome to Real Estate Tips. I'm Wayne Russell, instructor, broker associate with RE/MAX Southwest, Sugar Land, Texas. Most of the information we discuss comes from realtors, newspaper articles, magazines, and emails from different sources. The material provided here is for information purposes only and is not intended and should not be considered as legal advice for your particular matter. Before I get started here, I know that y'all always read the Chronicle in the business, but this is kind of may be a repeat. But the developer, Sugar Land residents concerned that renters and mixed-use proposal would hurt their suburban lifestyle. The developer planning a mixed-use project in Sugar Land will remove the 900 apartments from its plan after opposition from residents concerned that renters would increase traffic, crowd schools, and diminish their suburban lifestyle. The city of Sugar Land announced Wednesday that Newland Communities has decided to drop the apartments from its planned project at University and US 59 in Telfair. So that's good. And Fort Bend County to widen Crab River Road. There's a lot of congestion at Crab River Road. The traffic on Crab River Road in Richmond is so bad that Greatwood residents, Jennifer Franco, 17-year-old, anyways, about getting into George Ranch High School. So they're going to widen Crab River Road. And of course, part of that Crab River Road off of 59 is part of the 99, but it's going to, kind of bypass a little bit, but that's down the road. But that Crab River Road is quite congested at the intersection there.
Does it say what year they're going at?
It's it looks like it doesn't say. Crab River Road in Richmond runs south from intersection of US 59 and Texas 99 over Rabs Bayou across 2759 in the railroad tracks. Its name then changes to 762. So apparently they don't have a date, but if you want to read this, it's right here. And also, Missouri City renovates busy community center. Almost 30 years of hosting wedding, receptions, community functions, and city events. Missouri City's community center is set to get much needed facelift. Okay, on the outline, I'm going to cover legal update, satisfaction with contract elements, remedy for mortgage, homestead exemption, seller's disclosure. Do offers have to be in writing? Should the agent be listed in the contracts to receive notices? Properly maintain your fireplace before using it. Fair Housing Act, mortgage terms defined, and code of ethics. And just in case you missed it, I tried to send everyone a market update or a mortgage update from time to time, and just for your own information, I sent an email to the front where they can send it to everyone. And the National Association of Realtors said sales of existing homes rose 4.7% last month. And mortgage giant Freddie Mac said that the average 30-year fixed rate fell to 3.79 from 3.82, and the average 15-year eased to 2.98 from 3.03. So interest rates are still pretty reasonable. I guess in the early 80s they were about, I don't know, 15 to 16%, Betty. It was pretty close to that in the 80s.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So it was, sometimes the builders would even have buy downs so that they could get the interest rate a little bit lower. And so it's the interest rate today is just unbelievable. And then Houston area home sales show continuous strength in September. And the month of September showed vitality. And it shows the breakdown of what homes were selling. The most popular ones were from 150 to 249 is 15.6%, and 250 to 499 increased 16%. So those are the most popular prices that are selling. The ones that decreased were from 80 to 149, and a decrease from 500 and above. And mortgage bankers get TRID update. Everyone knows what TRID means. It's Trilla, Respect, Integrated Disclosure Rule. Anyway, the new TRID TILA RESPA Integrated Disclosure Rule documents went into use on October the 3rd. Mortgage bankers, realtors, and title officers assembled for the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association monthly meeting on October the 14th received an update on farm's progress from HMBA President Bill Dawley. Well, TRID is officially here, Dawley said. The first part of TRID, new loan applications on or before or on or after October 3rd is full speed ahead mode. we haven't seen or heard any broad issues with the new loan estimate, which replaces a good faith estimate and truth in lending. We are cautiously optimistic on part 2, the closing disclosure, which replaces the HUD 1 statement. We will see a few of these in late October, but the bulk of these new transactions will appear around Thanksgiving. And I'll go over all these terms, mortgage terms, just for your own information a little bit later on. Anyway, I wanted to bring this to your attention. One of the agents in the office wanted to get dispersed on a contract, and they didn't have the dates in the contract. And so they wanted to get their fee, their commission. And the office said, well, you need to have the dates in there. And I think it's so important to have dates in your contract so that you'll know when the option period starts. But anyway, I wanted to, one of the agents took a legal update, and I did too, and the instructor that I had didn't cover this, but in this other class, they covered it about satisfaction of contract elements. This is all you need to make a valid contract. The elements for the creation of an enforceable contract are an offer, an acceptance, consideration, meeting of the minds, communication, and execution or delivery. But I also taken courses in contracts, and I've heard from other realtors too that the instructors and the attorneys say fill in all the blanks. So it includes initials, dates, etc. So anyway, but this is all you need for a valid contract. And I'd say that if you want to get dispersed, you better check with the office policy, because they'll probably want you to have, you know, the amendments, the contracts, the dates, and initials on all the agreements. Anyone, just want to bring that to your attention.
Doesn't execution mean date?
Well, it doesn't say that you can execute a contract, but you can also leave the date off. So, and I've seen that. So
in this case, execution means signature.
Right. It says execution or delivery, but it doesn't say dating it. And consideration, is that the sales price? I assume it does. Is that, how about option money and earnest money? You know, and so anyway, this is just in your legal update. I handed them out a month ago. Some of you got some, and some of you weren't here. So I do have a copy of that in case y'all want the whole book on the legal update, which I doubt you won't. Anyway, spouse with missing husband seeks remedy for mortgage. My husband is gone. I hadn't seen him for months, and he was working with a bunch of shady characters. I can't afford the mortgage payments on our home without his income. No realtor wants to listen because of the title problems. Do I have a solution here? Yes. There is a provision in the family code for sale of homestead by an abandoned spouse. So I'll let you read that on your own, the rest of it. If I convert my detached, now this is something unusual. I didn't know this, but if you convert your detached garage into a small apartment, move in and rent the house, can I keep my homestead? I'm 62 and plan to retire next year. And the answer is yes. So that's interesting. As long as you're still living there, it remains your homestead. My husband recently died, and I want to put our house on the market. Do I have to disclose it on any seller's disclosure form that my husband died on the property? And the answer is depends. It depends on how he died. If he died from natural causes, suicide, or accidental, unrelated to the condition of the premises, you don't have to disclose it. But it seemed like to me that if a buyer came back to you after closing and said, hey, your next door neighbor told me so-and-so passed away because of certain situations, I think it'd be best to disclose it. But, you know, according to this, you don't have to, but that's up to you. Anyway, I just wanted to, you notice on the seller's disclosure on page 3 of 5, it says in here, any death on the property except those deaths caused by natural causes, suicide, or accidental, unrelated to the condition of the property. And of course, if he committed suicide, you just say no. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention. It's your call. Do counteroffers have to be in writing? My client received an offer on his home. He wants to submit a counteroffer to the prospective buyer and asked me to call the buyer's agent with the information. The buyer's broker insists that the seller must either make a formal counteroffer in writing or reject the buyer's offer in writing. Does my client have to respond in writing? You know, I know I was dealing with one of the agents, it's a RE/MAX agent, but not our office, and we were going back and forth, and he never sent me a counter in writing, an email, a text, or nothing. If I wasn't in, he said, just call me. He'd always tell me verbally. So be careful of what you do when you submit a counter offer in writing, a text, email, and then let's just say the seller will accept $100,000, and it takes a couple of 2 or 3 days to get the paperwork rolling, and all of a sudden you get another offer of 110. So what happens? Well, that's why they have lawyers. But be careful. There's a note on the back there in the copy room which says emails can be contracts. So be careful what you say in your email, and it'd be best to talk to them over the phone or in person. But you know, I'll go a little bit further. It says, does my client have to respond in writing? No. A seller has no legal duty to respond and offer in a particular way. A verbal counter offer could expedite negotiations for the sale of the property in many cases. It said verbal. I want to bring it to your attention. Of course, once there is an agreement about the terms and conditions of the sale, the parties should promptly reduce the agreement to writing and sign the contract to make it a binding obligation. The seller could respond to a buyer's offer by using the seller's invitation to buyers submit new offer to our 1926. This form would be particularly useful when the seller's proposal contains several changes to the buyer's offer. By using this form, the seller is free to consider other offers without having to be concerned about the withdrawal of a previous written counter offer. And this is a sample of right here. If you might want to use this, or you can just call them and talk to them verbally. That's what it says right here, verbally. Anyway, should the agent be listed in contracts to receive notices? You know, I was talking to the title company about notices, and the reason why they want the sellers in the notices rather than the realtors, because, you know, time is of essence, and so it'd be best. A lot of realtors don't want to disclose the buyers or sellers' information, but right in here it says on item 21 of the contracts, page 7 of 9, it states in there where to the buyer at so-and-so address, and the reason why is because in case the title company needs to get in touch with them. So go ahead and put the information in here if you're representing the buyer or the seller. Go ahead and put their name, their address, and their email, how to get in touch with them. It says right here, as I said, time of essence, the parties, should agents' information be inserted in 21 of the contracts as points of contract to receive notices. The parties to the contract should consider several factors before deciding what contact information should be inserted in paragraph 21. Time is of essence. I've said that about 3 times. It's almost all the notice provisions in contracts. This means they require time-sensitive action. Having an agent as a point of contact to receive notices to who his and her client could create delays that may result in party losing time-sensitive option or right provided in the contract. You know, say your agent's out of town or out of the country, and they're trying to get in touch with them because of certain situations that come up. So anyway, having an agent as a point of contact to receive notice for his or her client could create delays that result in the party losing time-sensitive option or right provided in the contract, such as paragraph 23, termination option, or the third-party financing addendum for credit approval. In addition, the word notices in 21 has contractual meaning. Given notice, the party can affect the party's rights and obligations in several parts of the contract, so care should be taken to provide notices in ways that don't cause needless delay. I'll let you read the rest on your own. And I saw this in the newspaper. I thought this was kind of neat about properly maintaining your fireplace. You don't dare to light a fire in your fireplace until you've had it inspected, cleaned, and repaired every year. Many people lose their homes worse from chimney fires. Some of the work that might be required are things you can do yourself, but a trained chimney sweep is well worth the cost. And we talked about before beginning, you need to know what this is, a very messy endeavor. When cleaning from the rooftop, cover the fireplace open with plastic that is sealed around the edges. Check your home center and fireplace shop for supplies. You should have a chimney cap on the top of your chimney. Give it a check for cleanliness. While cleaning the firebox, use a stiff brush. I'm just hitting the highlights. And anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your attention if you have a fireplace, and most of you do have fireplaces in your homes. Just be careful. Okay, next is some answers to questions that might be Fair Housing Act violation. I'm a Texas real estate license. I had a couple of walk into my office yesterday and requested I find a home for them in an integrated neighborhood. How do I do that? You don't. There is no definition of what is an integrated neighborhood is. Almost everything you say or do might be a fair housing violation. The Texas Real Estate Commission rules prohibit you from even discussing these topics. I know you want to help, but these kinds of questions are very inappropriate and probably illegal. I'm a real estate licensee, but have not been very active. I heard the mandatory continuing education requirements are increasing. What will the new ones be? We have it on very good authority that starting January the 1st, 2016, real estate license holders will be required to take 18 hours of continuing education. They will require 2 4-hour courses of law update, and if you need the broker responsibility course, another 6 hours of that course, and you then have 4 hours of other topics approved by the Texas Real Estate Commission. I'm applying for my broker's license. Fortunately, I got mine back in the early or late middle 60s, so I don't have to worry about it, and I'm exempt from these continuing education because in 1991 or 90, when was it, Betty, in 91 or 92, they sent out something, if you were a broker for 10 years, lived in an area less than 250,000, and another thing that you could be excluded from taking continuing education.
I forget exactly when.
Are you exempt?
I chose not to take advantage.
Okay, right. I know there's 3 of us here in the office that's, that have, don't have to take those courses anymore. Anyway, I'm applying for a broker's license and have to have 3,600 points of experience. What is that all about? The 3,600 points is proof of sufficient real estate experience to apply for broker's license. The points are broken into 3 categories: residential, commercial, and farm and ranch. Transactions are worth some points, as well as listing and management activities. And then you can go further to get more information. So it's quite involved in getting a broker's license today. Oh, this is interesting here. I'm buying a new house. The MLS said the washer, dryer, and refrigerator stayed with the house. When we did our walkthrough prior to closing, they were gone, and the seller refused to put them back in, saying he never agreed to that in contract. Now I'm ready to sue. Who's at fault here? So, you know, if you promise something in MLS, make sure that the seller agrees to it, and go ahead and use a non-realty item addendum. Apparently they didn't do that. Maybe the seller didn't approve of it. Maybe the realtor was trying too hard to sell the house. But anyway, yours is not an easy question to answer. The seller may be, if they approve the MLS ad, the broker, better chance, they may be liable for false advertising and misrepresentation. It's easy to file a complaint with TREC. So in other words, be careful about putting information in MLS. Let's just say you put a bonus in there. Let's just say you put a bonus in there of $500, or say $1,000. And you negotiated the deal, and the other realtor, the buyer's agent, didn't put the bonus in there. He put 3%, but he forgot to put plus $500 or whatever it was. So this happened to me. So I took it to the seller, and the seller goes, "Oh, we don't have to pay the bonus, do we?" Well, he left it out of the contract. I don't think so. Even though he left it out of the contract, we closed on the transaction, and the realtor says, "Hey, where's my $500 bonus?" Well, you didn't put it in the contract. Yeah, but you got it in MLS. Guess who paid the $500 bonus? You. Yours truly. Anyway, so be careful what you put in MLS, whether it's has something to do with non-realty items, bonuses, etc. And if so, the next time I do that and we offer a bonus, I'm going to make sure that I put 3% plus 0 bonus. Just hand scrap it. I don't think there's any other way to put it in there unless you want to put in special provisions. But special provisions right now are so small that you may have it full of something else. I wanted to go over some terms, mortgage terms to define. I'll go over it real quickly. I've underlined in heavy bold print the ones that says LE, loan estimate. The next one is CD, which is the closing disclosure. DTI's debt to income ratio. LTV is loan to value. When a property has multiple mortgages, lenders use combined loan to value ratio, or CLTV. The Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, or RESPA. Everybody knows what RESPA stands for. Now you know. It's Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. And TILA is Truth in Lending Act. Private Mortgage Insurance is PMI. You've heard that on conventional loans. And then on FHA, it's MIP, Mortgage Insurance Premium, MIP. The adjustable rate mortgage, ARM, and usually ARMs start with lower rates than fixed loans. And home equity line of credit is HELOC, allows homeowners to borrow cash against home equity. VOR is verification of rent, verification of mortgage, VOM, verification of deposit, VOD, verification of employment, VOE, and of course, last but not least, PITI, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So in case you're talking to a lender, or in case you're talking to a buyer that's, maybe he's an ex-loan officer or something, and he starts pulling out, you know, ARMs and PITIs and LTVs, you know exactly what he's talking about. And last but not least, again, is the Code of Ethics. I go over that because one of the agents requested it. This is really like the test. Anyway, remember we talked about discipline. We mean discipline of realtors. Remember, membership only, not action against the individual real estate license. No association of realtors has jurisdiction over the licensure by the state real estate license authority. Hearing panels are authorized to recommend one or more types of discipline against realtors found in violation of the code. Only authorized forms of discipline may be imposed. Types of discipline. Authorized discipline includes warning, letters of reprimand, education, fine, probation, suspension, expulsion, and suspension. And then the next one is authorized administrative cost. In addition to discipline, the associate can impose an administration processing fee not to exceed $500 on any realtor found in violation of the code. This is similar to court costs, and litigation is not considered discipline. And this is lesson 5, topics 1 through 3. It's the Code of Ethics is enforced primarily by the local association of realtors. 2 types of complaints typically resolved in local associations: arbitration claims and ethics complaints. The 2 committees which receive, review, and resolve either complaints are the Grievance Committee and the Professional Standards Committee. The Grievance Committee role is to hold hearing, is to have a preliminary meeting to determine whether there were possible violations of the code. And the last page is the function of the Professional Standards Committee is to determine whether, and after due process of hearing, the respondents were in violation of the code by clear, strong, and convincing evidence. Due process hearing includes which of the following: the right to the presence of evidence, testimony, and witnesses, the right to legal counsel, the right to cross-examine, the right to an impartial peer panel. And if realtor is found in violation of the code, which the following types of discipline may be imposed: a letter of reprimand, a fine not to exceed $5,000, suspension, education, a letter of warning. You got any questions? Anyway, this is kind of a short session, and I really appreciate y'all coming today, and have a great day. Talk to you guys next time.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne.